cut in the middle of the scene, and he had to be physically escorted off-set by security. Was it simply the intensity of the situation? Or was Mendes pushed over a precipice he had been standing on for too long by Ciara's false allegation? Oh, social. Media users speculate that this may be the start of a major franchise reorganization that would involve Yan Dandy, the producers, and perhaps legal counsel. Since this is more than simply drama, we are analyzing what we have heard. It's harm themselves. Unbelievably though, some fans are beginning to concur with Aries. Is Kendrick's name being pursued by a comedian with influence? Or is it true that Aries thinks Kendrick is being overhyped? Kendrick's team, too. The news is that they have already replied, although in an unexpected manner. This just evolved from a disorganized viewpoint to a cultural crisis. Let's examine Aries' statement, its impact, and the hidden shade that Kendrick revealed a few hours later. Aries Spears was the last person anyone anticipated to cause a cultural upheaval in hip-hop this week. Yes, Aries. The outspoken comedian is well known for his uncensored hot views, celebrity impressions, and edgy stand-up. However, he went too far this time. He degraded Kendrick Lamar's influence rather than merely questioning it. Proud, loud, and unapologetic. It all began when Aries was asked to list his personal top 5 hip-hop musicians of all time during a podcast interview on the Behind the Smoke show. That's cool, isn't it? It's safe to ask that. Innocuous up till a single quote from WSNTTO, the top 5 easy packs went to Aries. Biggie, Eminem, J. Nas, I Don. Single quotes T. Yes. Aries, the outspoken comedian, is well known for his uncensored hot views, celebrity impressions, and edgy stand-up. However, he went too far this time. He degraded Kendrick Lamar's influence rather than merely questioning it. Proud, loud, and unapologetic. It all began when Aries was asked to list his personal top 5 hip-hop musicians of all time during a podcast interview on the Behind the Smoke show. That's cool, isn't it? Safe to ask that? Innocuous up till a single quote from WSNTTO. The top 5 easy packs went to Aries. Biggie, Eminem, J. Nas. I Don't Come Not Comment section exploded. Within hours, the clip hit X, formerly Twitter. Reactions started pouring in from every corner of hip-hop. Fans weren't just shocked, they were furious. Screenshots, memes, voiceovers, Kendrick Hive, assembled like the Avengers and went straight. Tuwar at TDE Faithful posted Aries Spears out here talking like he dropped an album in the last 25 years. Sit this one out, bro. At Black Boy Lyrics wrote this the same guy who got roasted by Lizzo fans and never recovered, and now he want to come for Kendrick. But beneath the trolling was something deeper, because Aries didn't just say Kendrick wasn't his favorite, he essentially called him overrated, a fraud, a lyrical artist pushed to GOAT status by culture critics rather than by the streets. And that struck a nerve because Kendrick Lamar isn't just another rapper. He's the rapper, Pulitzer Prize winner, an icon who's delivered classics like Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, DAMN, and now Mr. Moral and the Big Steppers. His grand national tour is selling out entire continents. And his anthem, Not Like Us, turned a rap beef into a cultural reset. So who is Aries Spears to say he's not even in the top 20? Well, here's the thing. Aries has history when it comes to calling out black entertainers. Remember when he came for Lizzo saying she was promoting obesity and that nobody wants to see that on stage? He was dragged for days. And now it seems like he's going for Kendrick, not for clout, but because he sees himself as some kind of culture watchdog. But that watchdog routine, it's backfiring because as the interview clip made rounds, something strange started happening. Famous comedians started unfollowing Aries. Clips resurfaced of him mocking hip-hop culture. Industry insiders began sharing stories of how Aries Spears has had a chip on his shoulder for years, especially toward younger, critically acclaimed black artists. One source from a comedy club in LA said Aries used to rant off stage about how Woke artists are soft and how Kendrick wasn't real enough to be legendary. He's had this bitterness for a long time, so this wasn't new, was boiling under the surface. But what Aries didn't expect was that Kendrick Lamar himself was watching. Because just a few hours after the clip went viral, Kendrick's official YouTube channel uploaded a short teaser with no warning. Black screen rain sounds and a single quote, "Greatness. Don't scream. It just changes everything." Then it ended with a text 713, "Just watch." No context, no caption, no thumbnail. And fans, they lost it. At Lamar loyalists posted Kendrick cooking in Aries. "You just gave him fuel." At Left Foot's Tip wrote this: "Man about to respond with a visual that'll make Aries Spears unemployable." And this ain't just wild speculation either, because insiders say the teaser is tied to an upcoming Kendrick video drop, where he addresses industry disrespect, generational hate, and the comedy world exploiting hip-hop for views. Yep, this ain't just shade, it's war. And what's crazier, Kendrick's camp hasn't reached out to Aries. No phone call, no DM, nothing. It's just silence and a countdown clock. And if history tells us anything, Kendrick don't respond often. But when he does, he ends careers by the time the Kendrick teaser dropped. Aries Spears was already doubling down on his disrespect, like he had a point to prove. Instead of walking it back, he did the one thing no one expected. He went back on another podcast less than 48 hours later. And this time, he said Kendrick Lamar raps like he's reading a dissertation and even mocked Kendrick's voice. Mocked Kendrick's voice, imitating his high-pitched flow and theatrical delivery. Aries snorted into the mic. "Y'all treat him like a prophet. I treat him like an NPR segment with beats." The internet gasped. AGAIN. This time, it wasn't funny. It was straight up disrespectful. Even the hosts of the podcast seemed uncomfortable trying to laugh it off. But the clip had already gone viral before the show even ended. That's when things started spiraling, okay? Comedians, rappers, writers, fans, everybody started chiming in. That real talk Shay, Aries Spears, is the reason the phrase falling off exists. Man went from Mag TV to hating TV at Salasnaps. He mad Kendrick got a Pulitzer and he got a GoFundMe for gas money. Damn. But here's where things took a serious turn. A former writer from Mad TV who worked with Aries during his prime posted this. Aries used to hate that we'd book hip-hop guests he didn't like. He called Kendrick boring, even when GKMC was blowing up. This hate been marinating since 2012, so it's personal. Suddenly, this wasn't about taste anymore. It was ego. Aries Spears felt the culture had left him behind. Kendrick became the symbol of that shift. But just when everyone expected Kendrick to clap back with a lyric or a video response, it was TDE who made the first move at exactly 7:03 p.m. The next night, Top Dog Entertainment's official Instagram account posted a grainy photo of Kendrick. In the studio, hoodie up, standing in front of a mic. The caption, "Some things don't require bars, they require moments. See y'all Friday." And the internet went nuts because the last time Kendrick's team posted something like that was right before The Heart Part 5 dropped and the world stopped. But Aries Spears still didn't back down. He posted on his IG story, "All these feelings over a rapper y'all know you don't play in your real life. Said what I said." That was his mistake, Bakehouse. Now he wasn't just poking Kendrick, he was taunting him. And then came the first real twist in this story. A never-before-seen clip of Kendrick from a private event in Maroyas Online. In it, Kendrick speaks candidly about comedy culture, mocking black artistry. It's always funny. Till it's your trauma. They'll mock your voice, your pain, your people, and call it a set. But when you respond with power, they call you sensitive. Sensitive. The clip hit hard. You could feel the pain in his tone. And fans, they went off at damned big dude. This man's art comes from generational trauma, and y'all letting a washed comedian make jokes about his delivery. F***CK. That at Black Culture Club. The problem with Aries Spears' disrespect ain't about music. It's about dismissal. It's coded. And then came the industry response that turned this from online drama into a full-blown culture war. Issa Rae. Yes, the creator of Insecure, queen of culture, and real-life power mover. She posted a tweet that read, "This generation fights through bars. The last one mocks it through bitterness. Through bitterness. Guess which one builds legacies?" Boom. Dot. Then Questlove retweeted the clip of Aries mocking Kendrick's voice with a facepalm emoji and wrote, "We're clowning Pulitzer winners. Now, cool. Let's go back to mocking Miles Davis next." Suddenly, Aries wasn't just being dragged by hip-hop fans. He was being kicked out of the cultural circle. But here's the twist. A source close to Kendrick's camp leaked a rumor that the upcoming video dropping Friday is not a diss track. It's a full-blown mockumentary skit titled "The Comedian Who Never Grew Up," set in a dimly lit comedy club. The video allegedly features Kendrick playing a silent observer in the crowd while a comedian clearly modeled after Aries mocks black culture for white laughs. At the end, Kendrick walks on stage, grabs a mic, and speaks 3 lines. Funny thing about legacy, you don't need to scream when history whispers your name and yours ain't even on the list. It's over before it even drops, and fans are already calling it a career ender. Meanwhile, Aries Spears, his shows are being canceled. A comedy club in Houston released a statement saying, due to recent backlash and community feedback, Aries Spears' scheduled performance has been postponed indefinitely. Broke Kendrick didn't have to drop. A bar didn't tweet, didn't diss. He just let the culture do what it does best. Protect its legends. But word is, Kendrick might still drop a surprise track because Top Dog ended their IG story with "Some people need more than silence. They need reminders." If Kendrick drops a track and the mockumentary Aries might not just be canceled, he'll be forgotten after getting dragged across the internet for days straight. Aries Spears finally started feeling the pressure. Shows were getting canceled. A comedy club in DC dropped his booking. Another in Atlanta pulled all promotion. IG pages were reposting old clips of him bombing on stage. And comedians like Godfrey Roy Wood Jr. and Dion Cole had started low-key shading him with tweets about washed legends and fighting the future instead of uplifting it. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar remains silent. No tweets, no verses, no interviews, just silence. But the culture, it was speaking louder than ever. The Comedian Who Never Grew Up teaser had hit 10 meters views in 24 hours, and even though the video hadn't dropped yet, fans were already calling it a career obituary in advance. Aries was spiraling, so he did what any panicking entertainer does when the culture turns on them. He called in backup, and not just anyone. Aries allegedly called DL Huggley, a fellow comedian and media personality known for speaking out on cancel culture, political hypocrisy, and generational gaps. Word leaked from a Hot 97 producer that DL and Aries had a private call, and Aries practically begged him to defend him on air. The message: "This new generation is soft, DL. They don't know what real comedy is. So help me get my side out." But here's where it gets wild. Instead of helping Aries, DL Huggley went on his own radio show the next morning and flipped. Live on air. He didn't name Aries directly, but everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're a comedian and you need to clown a man like Kendrick Lamar to stay relevant, maybe it's time to change. Professions, he continued, the last thing a black man needs in this industry is another black man tearing him down for having substance. Especially one who's done more for the community than half the people making jokes about him. Boom, the studio Wenzelant. Callers started flooding the phone lines. Twitter blew up at Black Radio King. DL Huggley just torched Aries Spears on live radio. That's the funeral right there. At Missed Too Much, Aries really thought DL was going to save him. But this ain't 2002. Grandpa Kendrick is the voice now. And just like that, the comedy OGs started backing away. Fast. A source from The Breakfast Club revealed Aries was reaching out for a guest slot to clarify his comments. They declined. Hot Joe Budden's podcast reportedly ghosted his rep entirely. And then Dave Chappelle made a move that shocked everyone at a surprise pop-up show in San Francisco. Dave went off script during a Q&A segment and was asked what he thought of the Aries versus Kendrick drama. Dave just laughed, sipped his drink, and said, "Ain't nobody in this room doubting who the genius is. And it damn sure ain't the dude yelling at podcasts." The crowd went crazy. Even Chappelle, one of the most protected figures in comedy, was subtly making it clear Kendrick was untouchable. Aries was out of line, but Aries still couldn't keep quiet. Later that night, he went on IG Live with only 800 viewers and tried to play victim. Everybody acting like Kendrick's a godman. "I said what I said. You don't got to agree with me, but don't act like I committed murder." He paused. Where's the freedom of speech? But the comments weren't buying it. Freedom of speech ain't freedom from consequences, my boy. We not mad you got an opinion. We mad you got no respect. Don't cry now. You laughed first. Then someone pinned the comment. Kendrick got you sweating without saying a word. And just when it looked like Aries couldn't get embarrassed any further, Bet leaked the final nail. A behind-scenes source revealed that Aries had been considered for a Comedy Row special taping later this year. But after the backlash from his Kendrick comments, his name was removed from the running. The source quoted one exec saying, "We can't build comedy by tearing down culture heroes, especially not right now." Meanwhile, Kendricks Silence remained undefeated, and fans believe it's intentional. One TE insider leaked that Kendrick had recorded a spoken word piece just hours after the Aries interview aired. And it's not just aimed at Aries. Bits about Black artists being disrespected in the name of clout, performance, and cheap laughter. Allegedly, the piece is called Stillness Ain't Soft, and it's dropping the same day as the mockumentary skit double hit Silent Strike. Message delivered. Aries Spears. He wanted a viral moment. He got a culture-wide rejection because the truth is you can't clone a prophet and expect the people not to choose sides. And with Kendrick's name now sitting next to words like legacy, discipline, and impact, while Aries trends next to irrelevance, bitter, and washed. This wasn't a debate. This was a wake-up call. And Kendrick, he ain't even raised his voice yet. By now, it was undeniable. Aries Spears had triggered a cultural thunderstorm, but the real aftershocks, they weren't coming from fans on social media. They were coming from the people who actually controlled the spotlight. Streaming giants, TV networks, touring managers, agents, and the first corporate titan to react. Netflix, just days before the backlash. Aries Spears had been in early talks to headline a low-budget, edgy stand-up special for the platform, part of a new experimental comedy series spotlighting uncensored voices. But after Aries' viral meltdown and the disrespect toward Kendrick Lamar, that deal was dead in the water. According to an inside source from Netflix's comedy division, once it became clear that Aries was alienating not just fans, an entire generation of artists and creators, we quietly pulled the plug. His name's now flagged in our review system. Yep, flagged, and it didn't stop there. Amazon Prime reportedly turned down Aries Spears' pitch for a special with the note, "Your brand doesn't align with our current vision for uplifting Black voices." Sheesh. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar hadn't tweeted a word, but the internet still spinning like a hurricane around him. Aries thought it was just fans reacting, but the silence from Kendrick wasn't weakness, it was dominance. When Kendrick doesn't speak, the world does it for him. And the world was loud at hip-hop sacred. Kendrick taught a masterclass in silence. Aries spewed noise. And guess who's getting erased from comedy lineups? At Culture Curator, the disrespect wasn't just about Kendrick. It was a shot at what Black artistry means today. That's why the industry turned on Aries. Even industry vets started stepping in. Ava DeVere reposted the clip of Aries mocking Kendrick's voice with a caption, "Some things you laugh at, some things you fight against. This ain't comedy, it's bitterness," masked as punchlines. And then Spotify quietly removed Aries Spears' old comedy album from its curated stand-up playlist Laugh Tracks. Legends, no announcement, no warning, just gone. One source close to Spotify's editorial team told Hip Hop Radar, "Our playlists reflect where culture is going, not where it used to be. Kendrick is the future. Aries isn't." Damn. Aries Spears' team tried to spin it. They issued a generic press statement. Aries stands by his opinions and believes in the freedom of comedic expression. He wishes no harm on any artist and will continue doing what he loves. But nobody was buying it because the damage had been done. Even his fellow comedians had stopped defending him. Corey Holcomb, known for speaking his mind, said on his live stream, "You can have opinions. That's cool, but when you make your brand disrespect, don't cry when respect don't come back." Kendrick, that man represents something sacred. Aries ain't. Realize who he was messing with. And that's the key, right? Because Kendrick Lamar is bigger than bars. He's an institution now. Hera presence, creativity, consciousness, community, and culture's been craving more of that, not less. So when Aries mocked not just Kendrick's voice, but the type of artist Kendrick is, it wasn't just shade. It was a cultural red flag, and the industry read it loud and clear. At Kendrick Legions posted, "You either adapt to the times or fade out." Aries chose violence. Kendrick chose legacy. Guess who's still winning without a word? Meanwhile, TDE continued its silent marketing massacre. New merch dropped from PG Lang titled "Silence Speaks Louder." Black hoodie, minimal print, no logos, just a quote on the sleeve. "You mocked the message, but the echo belongs to me." The collection sold out in 17 minutes. The same number as the bar count in Kendrick's opening verse of the Heart Part. Woo! Coincidence? Fans didn't think so. This was art-level petty, and it was glorious. And just when it felt like Aries Spears couldn't pit any harder, Charlemagne, Thaw God, revealed on air that Aries had reached out for an interview and they turned him down. Why? It's not just about the Kendrick thing. It's the energy. You don't get to go viral for hate, then beg for sympathy. Culture ain't buying it. So now here's where we stand. Kendrick's still silent. His team winning the war without a single bar. Aries, Spears, radioactive, the industry. Making it clear, you come for Kendrick, you come for the culture. And next? Oh, it ain't over. Because Kendrick's mockumentary video drops in less than 24 hours. And a leaked snippet just surfaced. Guess what? It ends with a line that fans believe is directed straight at Aries. "I made silence famous. Made noise forgettable. Whoo, midnight hit." And just like that, without promo, warning, or interviews, Kendrick Lamar dropped the video titled "The Comedian Who Never Grew Up." Within 5 minutes, it had 1.6 million views. Within 15, Twitter was on fire. YouTube comment sections were overflowing. And by the end of the 6-minute short film, Aries Spears' career looked like a chalk outline. The mockumentary opened in black and white. Kendrick sat in a shadowy theater, arms folded, eyes locked. On a stand-up comic on stage, the character, clearly based on Aries, was loud, sweaty, cracking. Tired jokes about rappers who sound like therapy sessions. The crowd in the video stone cold silent. Every punchline landed with a thud. Every insult echoed like it didn't belong. Kendrick never blinked, never smiled, just watched. Then came the final twist of the film. The comic walks off stage and tries to greet Kendrick in the hallway. "Come on, man. It's just jokes. Ain't we both entertainers?" Kendrick looks him dead in the eyes and says, You had the mic. You used it to mock the pain. I used mine to survive it. Cut to black dot, then came the final screen. Stillness ain't soft. The echo continues. Hugh, and just when you thought that was the final hit, bro, the cliffhanger came immediately after because 3 minutes after the video dropped. Kendrick's official X page posted a clip of an unreleased phone call. The voice deep, raspy, familiar. It was none other than Scarface. Yep, Mr. Mind playing. Tricks on Me, a Southern rap legend. And in the audio, Scarface is heated. This the same clown that said Pac was overrated in '06. I let it slide then, but now you mocking Kendrick too. Nah, time's up, he continues. We let these court gestures run loose too long. Let 'em talk while real ones bleed into these verses. Ain't no more passes. Brew the OGs are here, and let's not forget Aries Spears made a name early on for mocking Tupac in skits. Even calling him overly emotional during interviews. It rubbed people the wrong way, but back then you got a pass. Not this time. Now his history's resurfacing. And Kendrick's video just opened the floodgates. Fans immediately started tagging Ice Cube, Killer Mike, Common, and Talib Kweli. Then Common tweeted a fire emoji over the Kendrick video with the caption, "Some voices. Fade, some echo. Choose wisely." Oh my god, the cliffhanger. It's not just that Aries Spears is done. It's that the elders of hip-hop are waking up and realizing the court gesture's been mocking the culture for too long. And Kendrick 10 even responded directly. He let the video, the silence, and the legends speak for him. But now fans are convinced. This is just phase 1 because Kendrick's last tweet of the night was 6 words. You know who else he mocked? What does that mean? Fans are speculating Aries Spears might have crossed more lines behind the scenes and Kendrick is now the messenger of accountability. Next phase might be another short film, might be a track, might be another legend stepping up to speak. But what's clear is this. Kendrick didn't just clap back. Exposed a decade of mockery, bitterness, and culture vultures hiding behind punchlines. And Aries Spears, he laughed first. But Kendrick, he echoed last. His wasn't just a clapback. It was a cultural checkmate. Kendrick Lamar didn't drop a disc. He dropped a masterpiece. And without raising his voice, he silenced a man who built a career mocking black excellence while pretending it was just comedy. Aries Spears thought he was just trolling a rapper. Instead, he disrespected a movement. So, now we gotta ask, drop a comment. Was Kendrick's mockumentary the most savage, silent response we've ever seen? Do you think Aries Spears deserves cancellation? Or should he be given a chance to respond on stage? Did Kendrick just start a new era where clowns get called out without a single bar? And what did Scarface mean when he said, "We let gestures run loose too long"? What hour has been mocking the culture under the radar? We want to hear from you. Was Aries ever funny? Did he cross a line with Kendrick? And who do you want to see respond next? High T that lie button. If Kendrick's silence spoke louder than any freestyle, subscribe for more deep dives, lyrical breakdowns, and every viral hip-hop moment they don't want you to see. Turn on notifications because Kendrick's team just posted "To be continued." And insiders say another video's already been filmed. Yeah, this ain't over. This is just the start of a reckoning. A reckoning.